I'd like to change directions. I'd like to change directions away from politics and talk about television. And talk about a very specific television movie that was introduced to me by our good friend Matt Chrisman. Now, Matt has been texting me for weeks about this movie. It is a made-for-TV movie from 1997 titled The Advocate's Devil. I, for the longest time, thought he was speaking about The Devil's Advocate, which I was like, sick. Keanu, Al Pacino, it's great.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it when Tamara Tooney turns into a demon when they're trying on lingerie. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. No, friend. It is not the Keanu Reeves Al Pacino movie, The Devil's Advocate. It is a movie starring a guy named Ken Olin, who I've never seen in anything before.
Ken Olin is the founder and creator and warlord of This Is Us.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it stars Ken Olin.
One of the most evil men in the world.
It stars Ken Olin, Mariska Hargitay, Wendell Pierce, and Holt McElhaney. So, like, by 2024 standards, that is a murderer's row for a TV movie. But I was wondering, why did Matt want me to see this movie so much? What is it in this movie? I would try to get him to describe what it's about, and he told me to cease my inquiries, which are useless, and abandon any further inquiries at this point. So then Matt screened it for me the other night. I'm just going to describe to you. We're watching the credits to the movie, and I'm like, Mariska Hargitay, all right, pre-Law and Order SVU.
I would start gooning right there. I don't care whose house I was
Then
at.
we get to produced by a man named Elon Dershowitz, and I go, interesting. Then it says based on a novel by Alan Dershowitz. This is okay. So this is a TV movie.
Is it a sexy thriller?
Well,
Oh my God, no.
That's one way to put it. So Ken Olin stars as a thinly veiled Alan Dershowitz stand-in.
This is already the most evil movie ever
Okay.
made.
Dude, this is so common, by the way, in the UK. So many former MPs, and they're all right-wing, thinly veiled, fantasy fiction novels about themselves.
Amber, this novel that Alan Dershowitz wrote, titled The Advocate's Devil, is Mr. Dershowitz's version of OJ's If I Did It. And when I describe to you the plot of this movie, you're going to shit. Okay, so the movie is about the Ken Olin / Alan Dershowitz character is, a single father with a college-age daughter who's sort of like a hotshot defense attorney who needs a win. And he finds that win in a big media-saturated case of an NBA player played by Holt McElhaney, who's known as the White Knight. He's a white basketball star who is accused of rape. And he takes on his defense. And now this is a case in which the woman who's accusing him
was raped.
Yes, but on the surface, like, she went to his hotel room, she put in her diaphragm, she consented to a sexual encounter until something went wrong. Now, in the film, the Ken Olin character names the accuser in the media, and he's like, "I fight tough, but always fair."
My God.
So, okay, it gets better, because in the course of defending this the superstar NBA rapist, he begins to discover that this guy is definitely a rapist. And he's a rapist with a very specific MO. He uses LegalZoom and very early internet. Like, he gets on Netscape and gets legal documents or hacks into the emails of his intended targets. And he selects his targets by finding women who have brought charges of sexual assault or harassment against a man that has failed in court before, so that when he rapes them and she accuses him of rape, they will be vulnerable on the witness stand or in terms of any legal proceeding. He continues to defend him zealously and gets him off. And when he is acquitted, the Ken Olin, Alan Dershowitz character looks at Holt McElhaney and says, "You really need to get help." As he walks out of the courtroom.
I mean, an absolute justice system, even rapists deserve a defense. But that's not the point. The point is he is telling on himself.
Amber, it gets so much worse. It gets
worse than that?
Okay, yes, it gets a lot worse than that. Okay. I mentioned Mariska Hargitay is in this movie. Mariska Hargitay plays...
You could anonymously submit the evidence.
She plays the private investigator that works for his law firm. But he's been having a relationship with this woman, and like it's set up like he's a single father, and there's a scene where like his college age daughter, she's about to go off to Berkeley, is just like, Dad, how come? And Mariska Hargitay's character in this movie is named Rendy, and she's like, Dad, how come Rendy never sleeps over? She's great. You should ask her to marry you. And he's like, ugh, like he gets all he clams up. There is a throwaway line where
She's in kindergarten.
there's a throwaway line where he's talking about Rendy, and the Wendell Pierce character, who's his associate at the law firm, says, she should go back to her old job, spying for the Mossad.
What the fuck?
Yes.
What the fuck? What? What?
So basically, after he gets the white knight NBA rapist acquitted, NBA rape boy, he gets him acquitted and says, "Buddy, you really need to see a psychiatrist. You need to get help for all these rapes you're doing." Then he commits another rape and a murder.
This is the thing about like rapists, is they're not like, oh no, stop me before I rape again. They love raping people.
Yeah, it's not like they're
They're not werewolves.
You can't give them like the willpower of an intermittent faster. All right, enough of that. I've had my fun.
So the Ken Olin, Alan Dershowitz character is like the rape and murder takes place at the same hotel that him and Mariska Hargitay are having a romantic evening together, slow dancing to Patti LaBelle. I shit you not. And then it is intercut between that and Holt McElhaney like throwing a woman onto the marble tiling of a bathroom and killing her. So then like he's just like, oh, I'm feeling pretty bad about this. So he confronts NBA rape boy at a youth league practice, and he's like, I know you killed that woman, and like you got to stop. And then he's like, and then
nothing, by the way, prevented him from anonymously submitting that
legal
evidence.
ethics, Amber. Legal ethics.
The first time, but the second time, he's not even. What was he on retainer? Like he's not even his lawyer anymore.
I don't know. But then like he's like, if you want to go one-on-one with me, you're gonna lose. So here's what happens. He has previously introduced the White Knight to his daughter.
Is it a free throw
daughter.
contest? Sorry.
To get revenge on his advocate, the devil takes his daughter out for her 18th birthday, shows up in her college dorm room with flowers, and is like, I'm going to take you on a magical night on the town. The climax of this movie is like Dershowitz scrambling with the San Francisco Police Department to find out what hotel his daughter is at to prevent her from being raped by his former client. And then they burst in, and like the daughter is pretty much sexually assaulted in this.
See, that's how
But
you know
here-
it's
here-
fake,
okay,
because Dershowitz just
here
let it
is the
happen.
real jaw drop moment. Here is the real mic drop moment. I've said previously, it seems like he is a single father raising this daughter on his own, and they make reference to the mother who's not in the picture. So one of the White Knight, his MO is that he seduces women who are willing to have sex with him, but then in the last moment, like whispers in their ear details from legal cases that they brought against the boss. Like he says like something like, I want you to do me like you did your boss to keep your job, or something like that. And then they're like, oh, like no thanks. And then he gets off on the struggle, and then like when they pull away. So he seduces Dershowitz's daughter, and like he has her on the bed, and she's like, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God. And then right before, he whispers in her ear, your mother's car accident wasn't an accident. She killed herself because your dad was having an affair with Rendy.
Okay, you know the Nick Mullen joke. It's one of my favorite jokes where it's making fun of conspiracy theorists. Where he's like, it doesn't make sense that someone would do all this meticulous planning that is surely illegal. Would
And
get
now
them
for the
thrown in
final
prison,
step,
and
yeah.
then go now for the final step, the clues. But this is one instance of that actually being true. This is actually Alan Dershowitz going, let's make an entire movie that's just clues.
Yes.
What the what?
I mean, I don't
Damn,
actually
dude.
believe that, criminals usually want to, confess.
Yeah.
You know? But this is challenging my theory of that.
Yep.
Like, he wants to tell on himself.
This movie was powerful.
God dang. I'm like, even just the idea that Alan Dershowitz went to a bunch of producers and was like, "Would you like to make a movie about my life?" And they were like, "Yes." That's already insane.
I mean,
and evil.
we did a movie already based on his life. Reversal of Fortune. There are 2 movies.
He's one of the most unappealing men ever. He's one of the most unappealing men ever. And there are 2 movies about how cool he is, and he has sex in both of them.
And in both movies, he gets a guy acquitted for either rape or murder of a woman.
It's oh my god!
But I mean, like, he's probably defended some of those producers and studios.
Yeah,
so
well,
he's got something on him.
Yeah.
So, just had to share that with you. An amazing Matt Christman recommendation: The Advocate's Devil, available to watch on Tubi if you're interested.
Tubi.
That's a Tubi classic.